Ruth Davidson. Miss Davidson. Order. Order. Order, Miss Davidson.
To ask the First Minister when he will next meet the Secretary of State for Scotland.
First Minister.
No plans, near future.
Ruth Davidson.
I'd like to say that it's nice to see the First Minister back in his chair in the Chamber. When he ducked out on Tuesday of that debate, a debate about his conduct, he avoided a sadly very necessary reminder that the nation needs trust when it comes to every aspect of his independence plans. We know now he has no legal basis for his claims about Scotland's place in Europe. And as for the economy, I'll just repeat what the head of Scottish Financial Enterprise told a Lords Committee last week, which was another appointment that the First Minister ducked. Owen Kelly said of the Scottish Government, "It is aimed at persuading rather than providing an authoritative conclusion. I struggle to see how they have the authority to tell us anything." So that's Europe, that's the economy. What about defence? This First Minister says an independent Scotland can be a fully committed member of NATO, but kick the nuclear submarine fleet out of Faslane. Can he tell us what facts or advice he has sought or received to support this assertion?
First Minister.
Well, you'll find the question of NATO membership in Scotland published in the constitutional documents and also in the policy positions of the Scottish National Party. The argument for how a non-nuclear state can be a member of NATO surely is evidenced by the fact that 25 out of the 28 member countries of NATO are non-nuclear at the present moment. So we have the kind of fact in existence that 25 such countries exist at the present moment. But I was extremely interested by the interview of Philip Hammond, I think earlier this week in Good Morning Scotland, where in the space of one interview, actually in the space of one question, firstly he said he had no contingency plans on the fact of an oncoming independent Scotland. And then in the same thing he said they had contingency plans for every eventuality. So I suspect that Ruth Davidson should use her extraordinary influence with the Conservative Party to actually follow the recommendations of the House of Commons Select Committee and suggest to Philip Hammond and the rest of the UK government, it would be very wise indeed to have these contingency plans, because I believe, as a majority of this chamber does, that Scotland will vote for independence in 2 years' time and that nuclear weapons are on their way out of Scotland.
Ruth Davidson. Order.
So his answer on evidence for an SNP policy is to look at an SNP policy document. Brilliant. It goes further than the non-answer we got on Tuesday from his deputy leader. And also, I wrote to the First Minister about this issue, he may remember. It was all about the legal position in relation to NATO. And what I got back was a letter from a junior official saying that all will be revealed in 2013. And wait for it, it will all be fully in accordance with the legal advice received by Scottish ministers. So we know what that means. So I asked the Ministry of Defence what discussions had taken place with the Scottish Government, what work has gone on to stand this up. The answer? None. No contact between the Scottish Government and the MOD. No facts to support Mr Salmon's claims. And it's not just the Conservatives that have noticed. Look behind you, First Minister. Jamie Hepburn. It is nigh on impossible to remove nuclear weapons under pressure from NATO. Sandra White. It is hypocritical to be anti-nuclear and pro-NATO. And perhaps it was Councillor Norman MacLeod who summed up SNP policy the best when he said that this and so other issues, it goes into unsubstantiated assertion. Councillor MacLeod, the nation owes you a debt of gratitude for summing up what we already know. Even his own side recognises that this First Minister asserts as facts things he does not know to be true. Now, we know we can't trust him on defence, we know we can't trust him on the economy, and we certainly can't trust him on Europe. How can Scotland trust him on anything ever again? First Minister.
Well, right, OK. The Select Committee on Scottish Affairs, I don't agree, incidentally, with any of the types of politics of the members who contrives the report, but she will recall just a few days ago the Select Committee on Scottish Affairs concluded that, of course, it would be possible to remove nuclear weapons from Scotland. And that committee includes a number of Conservative members. Obviously, it can't include any Conservative members from Scotland because there are none outside government at the present moment. That was the conclusion. My evidence was that 25 out of 28 NATO member countries are non-nuclear. That seems to be pretty convincing evidence. As far as divisions in a party are concerned, I don't think Ruth Davidson is in a splendid position to comment on that at the present moment. The preference is that this party has open debate in its annual conference. What happens to the Conservative Party is there's a group of about 50 MPs intent on bringing down their government at Westminster and seem to be doing a splendid job. On Tuesday, of course, I was giving a speech on renewable policy to the UK Renewables Conference. At the same time, John Hayes, the UK Minister, gave a speech which he then didn't give, which was then leaked to the Telegraph and the Mail, which was then contradicted by his boss at 10:30 yesterday morning and by the Prime Minister at Prime Minister's questions. And today his predecessor has entered the debate disagreeing with his successor. I think in the context of the chaos and confusion on Tuesday on UK energy policy, I think the policy of the Scottish National Party looks pretty firm and pretty consistent. And lastly, on the question of trust, I mentioned the 6% who believe that Joanne Lamont stands up for Scottish interests. Ruth Davidson, you're up there challenging. It was 5% for you.